I thought today we would do a soul recall meditation. I will guide you through that, so if you would like to get comfortable, find yourself in a seated or laying down position that you won't fall asleep in, but are comfortable enough to deepen into a very relaxed state. Let's begin by taking a few deep, slow breaths, inhaling all the way into our bellies and exhaling all the air. And if there's any tension that we hold in our bodies, really letting that exhale come all the way out. And we are going to start by grounding our energy. And so we'll bring our attention to where it's focused most of the time. That's in our heads. Begin by bringing that attention down to the tip of our nose, feeling what the tip of our nose feels like, what it's experiencing. Moving it down to the chin and the jaw, releasing any tension that we have there. Down into the throat, letting the throat open up to facilitate deep breathing. Moving down into the shoulders, letting the shoulders relax, putting the burdens down that we have on our minds and our shoulders. And letting the shoulders fall back gently to open our heart space as we move our attention down into our heart. Continuing downward, moving our attention to our diaphragm and the tops of our stomachs. Really feeling the breath come in there as we breathe deeply and feel the belly expand. Moving our attention down to our navel area, letting the breath expand down into there as well, and down into the hips, letting the hips gently relax and widen. We carry a lot of our tension and burdens in our hips as well, so just letting them relax for a few minutes a day can help a lot. Moving our attention down to our knees, getting a sense for what our knees are feeling and experiencing. And down to our ankles and our toes. And we're going to continue downward into the earth herself, moving our attention to the point where our toes would meet the earth if they are touching the earth. And if they're not touching the earth, we can imagine the point at which our toes would touch the earth. And we can sense the support that we are given by Mother Earth. And we might find some gratitude for the support that she's given us for the life that we've found here, and that even when we struggle, she's always here carrying us. We can allow our energy to begin to form roots down into the earth. We can imagine them like roots growing down into the deep, dark earth, down through the soil, down through the rock, all the way down into the very core of the planet and the heart of the mother. And when we can feel her love and support, then we will begin our journey. Bring your attention gently back up to your head, keeping your roots firmly in place, your connection to Mother Earth. And begin to imagine a natural place, a serene place, somewhere in nature, whether that's a meadow or forest or beach, mountains. This place is quiet and you are alone, but you're not afraid. You're supported by the earth herself, and you're supported by guides and companions. And if you have guides, you can call them in now. I have been given permission to offer the tiger energy and the owl energy. Tiger being very protective, and the owl allows for a greater perspective to be manifested. So call in your guides, see them if they are there, welcome them in. And when you feel ready, we're going to begin a journey. Begin walking with your guides across the landscape. After walking for a time, you're going to find yourself at the edge of a very large forest. And you're going to begin following the trails through the forest, trails that have already been set there by our ancestors. And you're going to follow these trails to the very heart of the deep forest. And at the center of this forest, there is a very large tree. A tree that looks like a tree, but you can tell isn't just a tree. This is Grandmother Tree. This is the World Tree. When you approach, get a sense for her energy. Talk to her if you wish. She may have wisdom for you. And when you are ready, ask Grandmother Tree to create a portal into the deeper realms for you to reclaim your power for this journey. When the portal opens up, step through it and begin your descent, counting the steps as you go. 10, sinking deeper, feeling the earthen steps beneath your feet. 9, the passageway is dark, but it feels safe. 8, 7, 6, take more steps down, gently going into a deeper state of relaxation, allowing yourself to open up. 5, can see that there's a door at the bottom of the steps. 3, 2, very relaxed now. Relaxed and open to discovering what power you need to reclaim. 1. Take the final step and open the door gently. When you open the door, you discover that you are in a small garden. You begin to wander through the garden until you come upon the house that the garden belongs to. Begin to wander around to the front of the house, getting a glimpse of what the house looks like and who might have lived there, what state the house is in. You come around to the front door and you open it, finding it unlocked. And hidden in this house is a spark of light. This spark of light is your power. It is a fragment of your soul. And so I will leave you to explore the house and find your spark of light. And when you find this crystalline light, open yourself to it and allow it to come back to you. Now that you've found your crystalline light and have welcomed it back into yourself, take a few slow breaths to allow the energy to melt into yours, welcoming back that aspect of yourself. Come back out of the house and close the front door gently. We'll walk back out through the garden, giving thanks, and find the doorway to the stairs to begin our descent back up. 1, 2, feeling yourself start to come back into your body. 3, 4, feeling a little more alive and awake now. 5, 6, beginning to wiggle your fingers and toes. 7, 8, feeling more present. 9, and 10. We arrive back at Grandmother Tree, and we give her thanks for allowing a safe passage. We can walk our way out of the forest and back to our original landscape, giving thanks for our guides, for the protectors, and for the ones who guided us. And we can give our thanks to Mother Earth for being our support and our safe harbor while we were journeying. If you want to come back fully present, I'll share a few thoughts about the things you may have experienced while on your journey. So, the house that we see, whether this is a house that we've had in our lives at some point, a childhood house or a family house, or if it's some made-up fantasy castle, it doesn't really matter. What we see is that the house is a representation of our soul. So when I first began doing this type of exploration and these soul recalls, the state of my house was always very lonely and barren and dilapidated. And the house was falling apart, and it was set out in this landscape where it was all by itself and there was never anyone around. And it was a reflection of how my soul was feeling. So through doing this process, it's really interesting to see how the house that we visit changes over time. So take into consideration how your house appeared. And if it is a house connected to childhood, then it's likely that you're reclaiming some power or aspect of yourself that was lost in childhood, that you tucked away and protected during childhood. If you met anybody while in the house, or if the house seemed particularly frightening or spooky, then it's likely that there was a trauma that caused the fracture that you hid this aspect away from. The people that you meet could have been involved in the fracture or the trauma, or they could be a representative for the agent that caused the fracture or trauma, or a representative of yourself that you are hoping to reclaim. These types of soul recalls are an incredibly important part of reclaiming our power on a very energetic level. In the coming days, you may want to stay open to understanding the meaning of the things you saw in your journey, as well as the things that arise in your life what you have reclaimed may reflect back at you as a type of resistance for what you have reclaimed. For example, if you reclaimed a desire to play music or to listen to a certain type of music or to sing and be musical in general, then you may find that music comes into your life again. And likewise, the people around you may have a certain type of resistance to the change that they see in you. But that's normal. Just allow it. You don't have to bend to their expectations. This is a part of yourself that you've reclaimed and can now honor as a true aspect of yourself. If you have issues arise in your visions, or if things arise in your life that you have questions about, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am almost always around, and I love to be able to give guidance and support for these kinds of things. So always reach out if you're struggling. Thank you for joining me today on our journey, and I hope you have safe and beautiful travels.